by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to McDonough Park in Geneva, New York, where the Jamestown Jammers and Geneva Red Wings are deadlocked in a scoreless tie. As we head to the top of the third inning, it'll be the top of the Jammers batting order. Christian Deaton will get things started. Christian Deaton, who walked to start the ball game back in inning number 1, will lead things off. Nice clean game so far for Nate Grant. Looking good out there in the hill. Has that pace going really well as the speed that he is working at. And the first pitch to Christian Deaton, right down the pipe, taken by Christian, and that is strike 1. No balls and a strike to the left-handed hitting left fielder. 0-1 pitch ground ball. Second baseman Jake Lyle has to come in. Scoops it up and makes the throw to Will Simonite for out number 1.
Next, number 9, right fielder, Colin Stack.
That will bring up Colin Stack, the Jammers right fielder. Colin reached on an error charge to Jake Lyle back in the first inning. First pitch to him. Misses high outside, ball 1. Jammers with a 2-game lead over Geneva here in the PGCBL West. Next pitch misses high, and that is ball 2. Two balls and no strikes to Colin Stack. 2-0 pitch. Outside in the dirt, ball 3. Suddenly, Slater O'Brien can't find the strike zone with Colin Stack at the plate. 3-0 the count. Skylar Valentine on deck. And Stack takes the 3-0 pitch as he should, and Slater O'Brien gets it right in there, and the count now 3-1. Colin Stack on the season has 10 walks, hits one high and deep to center field. Center fielder Matt Chamberlain goes back. Shy of the warning track, makes the catch for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down now for Slater O'Brien, and it brings up Skylar Valentine. Here's a young guy that was pretty frustrated in his last at-bat. 2 guys on, runners at second and third, and he hit one toward left field. T.J. Bird with a great diving catch in left to retire Valentine. Skyler pops this one up, shallow right. Coming in, the right fielder, Matt Smith. No, not that Matt Smith. This is the Matt Smith that plays for Geneva. As a matter of fact, I walked up to him and said, "Hello, doctor," and he didn't say what you would expect the doctor to say when you walk up to him. So, no, it's not that Matt Smith. All right, enough with the Doctor Who references for the Jammers. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left in their half of inning number 3. We have completed 2.5 in Geneva. The score, Jammers nothing, Red Wings nothing on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Hi, I'm Layla Ali. I might be undefeated in professional boxing, but there's one problem I can't fight alone: childhood hunger. 17 million kids in America struggle with it. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gathers surplus food and gets it to hungry kids. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
To help solve hunger in your community and to find your local food bank, visit feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
And we're back at McDonough Park in Geneva, New York. And speaking of the doctor, Matt Smith has stepped to the plate. Now, for a complete understanding of the reference, you have to be a fan of the television program Doctor Who. Matt Smith was the actor that played the Doctor for several seasons, and this Matt Smith slaps one into center field for a base hit. Matt Smith reaches. He is the first base runner via the hit in tonight's ball game. And Matt Smith appearing in just his second game for the Geneva Red Wings. That brings up Justin Etz, the shortstop. First pitch to him misses outside for ball one. 1 ball and no strikes to the right-handed hitting shortstop, Justin Etz. Quick throw over to first base, and diving back in is Matt Smith safely. Good quick move by Nate Grant there. 1-0 pitch, and there goes Smith, and this one's fouled back over the home plate grandstand, and that'll even things up at a ball and a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Smith at first, and nobody out here in the Red Wings half of inning number 3. Ground ball up the middle, pass. No. Yes, it did go past Ryan Markey. I thought he had knocked it down there. Skylar Valentine quick from center field in and makes a throw to second baseman Jimmy Standahar, trying to catch Matt Smith sleeping, but he did not. Back-to-back singles now for the Geneva Red Wings, puts runners at first and second with nobody out. And brings up left fielder TJ Bird. TJ Bird with that catch that we mentioned on Valentine's line shot to left. Bird fouls back the first pitch for strike 1. No balls and a strike to the left-handed hitting left fielder. I make that a right-handed hitter. Sorry about that. Bunts at it, pops it up. Connor Rule in foul territory down the third base line makes the catch. No chance for either runner to advance. 1 out and still 2 aboard.
Number 25, the center fielder from the University of New Haven, Matt Chamberlain.
Matt Chamberlain steps to the plate now for the Red Wings with runners at first and second and nobody out. No score in the ball game. We're in the bottom half of inning number 3. First pitch to Chamberlain is low, ball 1. One ball, no strikes. This one's popped up. Little infield fly action. Chris Estrada is camped out underneath and makes the catch. Infield fly, taking care of that one. And that is out number 2, back-to-back pop-ups. One off of a bunt, and that one off a swing off the bat of Chamberlain. So the first 2 batters reach via singles, and now there are 2 out with those runners still at first and second. Some heat from Nate Grant, and it misses outside to Jake Lyle, the second baseman. 1 ball and no strikes. One 0 pitch popped up down the right field line, giving chase. Colin Stack. He makes a running catch to retire the side. What a great running catch by Colin Stack down the right field line to retire Jake Lyle and the Geneva Red Wings. For the Red Wings in their half of inning number 3, no runs, a couple of hits. First 2 guys up got on, but nothing much happened after that. 2 runners left on base, no errors for the Jammers as well. We have now completed 3 at McDonough Park in Geneva, New York, and the score, Geneva nothing and the Jammers nothing. Back with more right after this on the Jamestown Jammers Baseball Network.
I'm more resourceful than I thought.
My suit can still make an impression.
My video games are still game changers.
And my lamp can bring others a bright future.
Because when I donate my stuff to Goodwill,
it helps fund job placement and training for people right in my community.
Now my stuff gets a second chance.
And will give someone in my community a second
chance. Create jobs. Find your new Goodwill.org at Goodwill.org. This is brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Middle third of the Jammers order is due up here in the top half of inning number 4 with no score in the game tonight at Geneva, New York, between the Jammers and the Geneva Red Wings. The middle third of the order tonight is comprised of Chris Conley, the cleanup batter, playing first base tonight. The number 5 hitter, Chris Estrada, he's playing third. And the number 6 hitter, Connor Rule. At the plate, Chris Conley, and the first pitch is low to Chris, and he takes it for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Chris Conley, New York. Connor Rule to flags have lifted up off the poles out there in center field. This one's grounded down toward third again. And another play by Joe Tassin over to Will Simonite to retire Chris Estrada. 2 up, 2 down. And that'll bring up Connor Rule. Rule at the plate for a second time as well. Nobody aboard, 2 out. And the first pitch to Rule misses for a ball. Every batter has had a first pitch ball on them, but so far there are 2 out. Conley and Estrada both retired. 1-0 pitch. This one's grounded off the end of the bat down the first base line. It's fielded by Will Simonite. He takes it right to the bag and retires Connor Rule. And the Jammers, who go 3 up, 3 down in their half of inning number 4. No runs crossed, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. And the score now at the end of 3 1/2 innings of play, it is the Jammers 0 and the Red Wings 0. We'll be back with Geneva's half of inning number 4 right after we take this time out. of the second inning. First pitch to him from Nate Grant was a ball. 1-0 delivery, high outside. Nice catch by Connor Rule as that one was trying to escape him. Stood up and made a nice grab at it. 2 balls, no strikes, the count. Right-handed hitting Will Simonite at the plate. High outside, ball 3. Suddenly Nate Grant having some trouble with control. 1 out. Runner down at first, Jake Evans. And a 3-0 count to Will Simonite, who will no doubt be taking on ball 3. He does, and Nate Grant nails it right down the pipe, and the count is now 3 balls and a strike to Will Simonite. Simonite from Glen Ellen, Illinois, attending Cornell. Toss over to first base. It was high, not much Conley could do with it, but it certainly got the attention of Jake Evans as he had to dive back into the bag at first. And now has dirty pants in his baseball uniform. This one's hit high in the air toward right field. Not deep. Ranging over near the foul line. And catches the fly ball off to Will Simonite for out number 2. Two out, still down at first now, Jake Evans. At the plate, Joe Tassin. And the first high and outside, ball 1. 1-0 the count. Nate Grant with a 1-0 pitch, a pop-up. Shallow right, out is Jimmy Standahar. In is Colin Stack, and Stack will handle it. So after giving out a 1-out single, the Geneva Red Wings unable to do anything with that. Joe Tassin popping out to bring the inning to an end. For Geneva in their half of inning 4. Geneva Jammers nothing on the Jammers Baseball Network. As well, but was left stranded out there at second. See if he can bring in Standahar here. Runner in scoring position. Etz harassing Standahar, and Casey Vincent tried to club one out of the park. He pops it up. Shallow left center field, and Chamberlain comes the whole way in to make the catch of the pop-up off the bat of Casey Vincent. coming in to cover. Markey, the right-handed hitter, thought he was walked in his previous at-bat. It was a strike 3 called. 1-0 the count. Slater O'Brien's 1-0 pitch. Popped up down the right field line and well out of play. Giving chase with Simonite, but it was really well out of play. And the count is even at a ball and a strike to Ryan Markey. Jammers at home tonight, make that tomorrow night, of course. 7:05 start as we host the Newark Pilots. And we go to Elmira for a couple on Friday. Another slow pitch by Slater O'Brien and taken by Markey as that dropped so low across the middle of the plate and almost hit it. 2 balls and a strike. We will then take on Mohawk Valley. Line drive towards center field. Chamberlain misjudged it, but eventually comes in and makes the catch. Soft liner off the bat of Ryan Markey for out number 2, handled by Chamberlain. Takes us around to the top of the order, and Christian Deaton. Been at the plate 2 times, reached on a walk to start the ball game. We got him over to third base, but could not get him in back in the first. He also grounded out the second baseman, Jake Lyle. First pitch to him catches the inside corner to the left-handed hitting Christian Deaton for a strike 1 call. That's that same corner that gets called when the righties are out there, so Josh Maiman playing even Steven with that inside corner to a lefty and outside corner to the righties. No balls and a strike. That pitch to Deaton hits about 6 inches in front of the plate in the dirt, and a good stop by catcher Jake Evans. No chance for Jimmy Standahar to advance. And the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Of course, on the road, one of the things you have to deal with in a league like this is you don't get those super late checkout times. We had to be out of the hotel by noon today. And what that leaves you with is somewhere between 3.5 to 4 hours to kill. That's not easy, but we did get to a place where they had a movieplex there, as they had 10 theaters. That pitch is on the inside corner, taken. Delayed call by Maiman, strike 2. Scotty James, the clubhouse guy and equipment guy for the Jammers, ended up trying to watch the Pirates of the Caribbean movie and fell asleep during the movie, from what I was told. That was his option. That was also Coach Barone and Coach Carter's option. I didn't take in a movie because I was afraid I would fall asleep as well. This one's grounded foul down the first base line. Hayden Carter, cool as a cucumber, coming right at him, just sort of sashayed over to his left to get out of the way of it. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Some of the Empire is taking us around. third and have the go-ahead run just 90 feet away in a scoreless tie in the top of the sixth. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Valentine, the pitch. Reaches out and grounds it down towards Simonite, takes a belt-high hop, and who wins the race to the bag? Simonite does. Skylar Valentine accomplishes what Anthony Barone wanted him to do to begin with, and that was to get Colin Stack over to third. For 2. You don't say that very often about Chris Conley. His first pitch to him is outside and low, ball 1. Infield in all the way around here for Geneva. 1 ball, no strike pitch. Inside and a little bit high as well. 2-0. The count to Chris Conley. Slater O'Brien is 6'5", 205. He's from, as they say, the Bronx, New York, attending St. Joe's in PA. That pitch catches outside corner, and that is strike 1 called, and the count 2-1. Bit of a disagreement from Chris Conley, and you can tell when he disagrees because he steps out of the left-handed batter's box and turns his back to the umpire. If he really disagrees, he walks toward the first base dugout. That hits in the dirt, bounces away from the catcher, Jake Evans, but Anthony Barone is not sending Colin Stack to try to score on that one. Had it gotten away a bit further, that might have been the play. But in this case, he held Stack at third. 3-1, the count to Chris Conley. And they're going to call it an intentional walk now as they send him down to first. O'Brien having to throw a pitch. That brings up Chris Estrada with runners at the corners and just 1 out. Chris is 0 for 2 tonight. Ground out to the shortstop Etz and the third baseman Tassin. First pitch to him is on the outside corner, strike 1 called. No balls and a strike. Evans with some signals out to his pitcher, Slater O'Brien. Chris Estrada at the plate, leading RBI guy in the team, with a chance to add here to that total. That pitch misses outside, and the count evens at a ball and a strike to Chris Estrada. Chris coming into the game hitting .286 against Geneva. Conley fakes like he's going to go down to second base. And we know the odds of that happening, but he did get Evans out from behind the plate to fake a throw. It'd be interesting if he could induce Evans to make a throw down. Stack may dash for the plate. 2-1 the count to Estrada, the pitch. High, ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. So he was behind to Conley, 3-1. They decided to go for the intentional walk. And now he's behind 3-1 to Estrada. 1 out. Runner at third, Stack. Down at first, it's Conley, and that pitch catches outside corner to make it a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Chris Estrada, with runners on base, coming into the game hitting .302. With runners in scoring position, he's hitting .357 coming into the game. There goes Conley, and there's a foul off the end of the bat of Chris Estrada over toward the first base bleacher area. And the count remains full at 3-2, and Jake Evans will go out to the mound. Well, to talk to Slater O'Brien while he ties his left shoe. And his left cleat back in order. Home plate umpire Josh Maiman starts out and retrieves Jake Evans to his position behind the plate. Some early loosening down in the Red Wings bullpen. O'Brien started a bit on the wild side, but then started to get things under control. Makes toss over to first, Conley back. A courtesy toss, to be sure. I don't think anybody is expecting Chris to do anything. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Chris Estrada awaiting the payoff pitch again. There goes Conley, and it's hit high in the air towards center field. Could it be deep enough? Chamberlain makes the catch. Tagging at third. Heading for home and getting in safely with the first run of the ball game is Colin Stack. Sack fly, ribby for Chris Estrada, and the Jammers have taken a 1-0 lead. So Estrada does come through and add to his RBI total. And at the plate, it'll be Connor Rule. They do check over at third base to see if Stack left early, and no, that's not the case. No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. They said they were going to check, and then when they actually made the toss over and Tassin stepped on the bag, the bases umpire called him out. Anthony Barone has left the field, so there will be no further discussion about what just happened. So you get to change Chris Estrada to a fly ball out to Matt Chamberlain now in center field. Take that run away. And wow, just a crazy end of the inning. We have now completed down the third base. And the count is now 2-1 to the right-handed hitting shortstop tonight, Ryan Markey. You can watch Ryan's player profile on YouTube after tonight's game. Two balls, one strike. Two out, runner at second, John Conti. The pitch. Markey hits it high in the air, but plenty of time for Matt Chamberlain to get underneath it, and he didn't really even have to move all that much to catch it. So a fly ball out to center fielder Chamberlain brings the Jammers' seventh inning to an end. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Red Wings, and a runner left at second base in John Conti, who stole that. We'll be back for the Red Wings half of inning number 7. The score is Jamestown 0 and Geneva 0. More after this on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Pennswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Pennswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Pennswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Pennswood.net Classifieds has it. Pennswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
going to try to score. Matt Smith does. And now it gets away from the catcher Connor Rule, and that allows Chamberlain to move up to second base. Geneva 1, Jammers nothing. That is a single for Chamberlain. Give the young man an RBI. Score Smith from second. And then allow Chamberlain to move up to second on an error to the second baseman Jimmy Standahar in the throw into home. Ground ball down the third baseline, foul. Strike one to Jake Lyle. Another runner in scoring position as Chamberlain exchanges places with Matt Smith after driving him in with a go-ahead run. 1-0 now. Geneva leads, bottom of the seventh. Colin Johnston's 0-1 pitch. How did that not get called for a strike? Whew. Wow. Counts even at 1. Even from where I am, which is a little bit off down the third base line, that sure as heck looked like strike 2 up here. The 1-1 pitch is that one that gets called on the outside corner, and the count now 1-2. Nolan Hunt has ceased his activity in the Jammers' pen. 1-2 the count, 2 out. Chamberlain at second and a run in here. Outside corner, strike 3 called. And that's that. Couple of strikeouts in the inning for Colin Johnston, but Matt Smith had the leadoff single against Nate Grant, and unfortunately that's going to be Nate's run as Matt Smith came around to score. A run across on 2 hits for Geneva. There were no errors by the Jammers and a runner left on base. We have now put 7 in the books on this beautiful Wednesday evening of baseball here in Geneva, New York. And the score, Red Wings 1, Jammers nothing. More coming up after this on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Hi, Mom. Is Claire's birthday party today? Me again, Mom. Where did I put my history book? Hi. Sorry, forgot one last thing. Sometimes it's hard to concentrate. At school, I start looking out the window, and then I forget what I was supposed to be thinking about. I know it seems like I don't care, but I do. It's just difficult for me. Love you, Mom. Bye.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive. Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad Council.
Dan Schwam has gone to the bullpen for the Geneva Red Wings here in the top of the 8th inning as Ben Terwilliger comes in out of the pen. Terwilliger with a good performance in Jamestown against the Jammers, and we'll see what he's able to do here to try to finish this one off. He has 2 innings worth of Jammers to face, and we'll see how it goes. Take a look at some unofficial stats for tonight's starter, Slater O'Brien. O'Brien ends up going 7, facing 27 batters. No runs, couple of hits. Walked 4, struck out 3, 55 strikes, 49 balls for his 104 pitches on the night. Christian Deaton leads things off for the Jammers in their half of inning number 8. He is the leadoff batter in tonight's game, and he takes the first pitch from Terwilliger for strike 1. Deaton has been on base once. Back in the first inning, drew a walk. Got the third. We couldn't get him in. Grounded out a couple of times after that to second baseman Jake Lyle. Next pitch to him misses for ball 1. The count is even at 1 on Christian Deaton. Terwilliger out of Elmira, New York, attending Maine. 1-1 pitch up around the helmet of Christian Deaton. He ducks down and takes ball 2. 2 balls and a strike to count. Swing and a miss on the 2-1 pitch by Deaton to even things up at 2-2. Terwilliger is making his 4th appearance. No wins and losses, but a 3 ERA, 6 innings of work for him. This one's hit on a line drive toward left. And the left fielder is over and makes the catch. Yohei Ishiyama out there in left. And that's one away. Ishiyama catches the fly ball off the bat of Deaton, one gone. And it brings up Colin Stack, the right fielder tonight. He was leaving the base early on what appeared to be a sac fly off the bat of Chris Estrada that would have put the Jammers up 1-0. It ended up there. 2-2 count on him. Jammers need one here. Try to get this tied back up. A 1-0 Geneva lead. That ball is high to Stack, and the count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Terwilliger does not want to make a mistake to Stack. Inside corner, strike 3 called. Stack. That was pretty low, and he had already tossed the bat and started down the first base line, and he has some spirited words for home plate umpire Josh Mayman and makes his way back to the Jammers dugout. 2 gone in the Jammers half of the 8th, and center fielder Skylar Valentine steps up 0 for 3. Fly ball out to the left fielder Bird, who started out there tonight. Great play by Bird back in the first inning. Counts even on Skylar Valentine at a ball and a strike. Skylar, fly ball out to right as well, and grounded out to Simonite unassisted. Next pitch to him misses, and the count is now 2 balls and a strike to the right-handed hitting center fielder Skylar Valentine. Nobody aboard, 2 out the pitch. High outside ball 3. Cranking it up here. And unable to. Found the strike zone once. 3-1 pitch here. High ball 4. Actually, he just can't find the strike zone. Justin Etz comes in with some advice for Ben Terwilliger from his shortstop position. Chris Conley stepping to the plate. Etz is attending NJIT. And one of the coaches out of the Geneva Red Wings dugout to go out and talk to Ben Terwilliger. 2 out. Runner at first is Skylar Valentine. Always a threat to take off. Chris Conley is at the plate. Chris with a solo homer in last night's game, which the Jammers dropped 4-3 to the Red Wings. Hate to drop 2 here in Geneva. Right now, the Red Wings lead it by a score of 1-0. We are in the top half of the 8th inning. Valentine with a great lead down at first. Stays put as Chris Conley takes strike 1. Chris disagrees with that, shows the ump is back. Then plays a little game with his batting glove. Acts like he's tightening it back up on his wrist. Steps back in the 0-1 pitch. Outside corner strike 2. And he stands there in the batter's box, and now he makes the walk over toward the dugout of the Geneva Red Wings, and he'll adjust or go through the motions of adjusting the wristband on both of his batting gloves. He is behind 0-2. 2 out, Valentine at first, Jammers trail 1-0. Top of the 8th. The 0-2 pitch. In the dirt. Blocked by Evans. It pops out in front of the plate, no problem, and Valentine's still down at first. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jammers bats unable to come up with hits at the right time tonight. Just 2 hits, as a matter of fact, on the night for the team. That pitch misses. Not sure where that one was, but the count's even at 2. It kind of matches one in the previous inning that I thought should have been called a strike for Johnston. 2-2 the count to Conley. 2 out, the pitch. In the dirt, another good block by Evans. No chance for Valentine to advance as it bounces up and off of the shoulder pad, protecting the left shoulder of the catcher, Jake Evans. It's ball 3, and the count is full at 3-2. Jammers once again going to be back home tomorrow night to host the Newark Pilots. 7:05 start at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park. 3 balls, 2 strikes here. Skylar Valentine drew the 2-out walk from Terwilliger. Full count pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Threw him a changeup, and Chris well out in front of it, swinging for strike 3. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Terwilliger. No runs, no hits, no errors. A run left for the Jammers. That was Valentine down at first base. We've completed 7 1/2 in Geneva. The score, Red Wings 1. And catches his elbow, and that is a hit batsman to start things off for inning number 8. Brings up the catcher. Evans is 1 for 3 on the night. Fly ball out to Valentine, first out of the second. He then singled down the left field line. That pitch misses, ball 1 to Jake Evans. He also grounded into a fielder's choice. That was a nice play by Nate Grant to throw to Chris Estrada. And then was forced out Estrada to Standahar eventually there in the 6th. Jammers kept him off the board until the 7th. Counts 1-1 on Evans. The pitch, high, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike to the left-handed hitting catcher, Jake Evans. Jake's had a nice night behind the plate. He's kept the Jammers from advancing a couple of times. Hits a little bloop toward left field. Ryan Markey tries to get it. He can't. He slips and falls down. Coming in behind him is the left fielder, Christian Deaton, backing him up. A bloop single to left by Jake Evans. 2 on, nobody out. So Will Simonite will step in now. Will, the first baseman in tonight's game. He was the catcher last night. He and Jake Evans switched spots from one night to the next. The first pitch is right down the pipe, taken by Simonite, that is, and that is strike 1. 0-1 the count. And up in the bullpen now for the Jammers, it's Connor Ryan. Swing and a miss by Simonite, strike 2. 0-2 the count to him. Inning started when Mikey Arman on the first pitch of the inning was hit by a pitch by Colin Johnston. That was followed by Jake Evans' bloop single to left. Arman at second, Evans at first. Nobody out the pitch. Way outside. Good job by Connor Rule to catch that one. The count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Different look in the field tonight with Rule behind the plate and Chris Conley down at first. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and the pitch. Swings ripped foul down the third base line. Count remains 1-2 to Will Simonite. Simonite on the season hitting .286 coming into the game. 1-2 pitch. Popped up. Center field. Valentine makes the call and the catch. And that is out number 1. 1 gone in the Geneva half of inning number 8. Runners stay put at first and second. Joe Tassin steps up. Tassin's 0 for 3 in the night, grounding out to Estrada for the final out of the second. Fly ball out to Colin Stack in the 4th, and struck out swinging in the 6th. First pitch is lofted toward right field, line drive at Colin Stack, and he makes the catch, and Tassin, 1 pitch and another out. Doing Colin Johnston a bit of a favor there, going after that first pitch and hitting the line drive out to Colin Stack. And Matt Smith will step in. Smith is responsible for the lone tally for the Red Wings, and he's 2 for 3 tonight. Singled in the 3rd, singled and scored in the 7th, sandwiched in between that is a fly ball out to Skylar Valentine in the 5th. First pitch to Smith misses, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Mikey Arman at second, Jake Evans at first, the pitch. Way outside, and it gets by the catcher Connor Rule all the way to the home plate grandstand area. And that is ball 2. Wild pitch allows Arman and Evans to move up. Runners at second and third, 2 out. We're in the bottom half of the 8th inning, and the Red Wings lead tonight's game by a score of 1-0. Colin Johnston is on the hill. Bill Coburg's here. He's the main dude when you come to Geneva. Hi, Bill. How you doing? Ball 3 to Matt Smith. Neva to load the bases here. It was right down the middle, but it was low. And Josh Mayman says ball 4. So now the bases are loaded. Runner at third, Arman. Jake Evans is at second base. And down at first now it's Matt Smith. Hayden Carter comes out of the Jammers dugout to go out and have a talk with Colin Johnston. There's a hatch of June bugs out right now, and Justin Etz is fighting him off there at home plate. They're flying around in front of the netting here at the press box, sitting high atop the home plate grandstand at McDonough Park. Hayden Carter continues to talk to Colin Johnston. Connor Rolls ready. He's heard enough. Colin is ready to go ahead and face Justin Etz with the bases loaded and 2 out. Just a 1-run lead in the game. You can't even begin to estimate how big this at-bat is for Colin Johnston and the Jammers, and for that matter, the Red Wings. 2 out, bases loaded. Johnston's first pitch. Ground ball at the shortstop. Ryan Markey, underhand toss to Jimmy Standohar. Skips out of the way of the sliding Matt Smith at second base, and that will do it for Geneva in their half of the 8th inning. Colin Johnston gets into a jam and wriggles right out of it. No runs across on 1 hit. There were no errors for the Jammers, and the bases were left loaded. The score now at the end of 8. Red Wings 1, Jammers nothing. We'll be back with more right after this. It is Jamestown Jammers Baseball. Happy to have you here on the Jammers Baseball Network.
So, I'm a dog, and I'm kind of new to this family, but I've noticed a trend. My humans do this thing where they go around and get all my toys and hide them in this basket, but it's always the same basket, and it's always the same place, and then they act so surprised when I find them, but I'm like, hello, that's where you put it last time. Humans are the worst at hide-and-go-seek.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Well, Ben Terwilliger with the opportunity to bring this to an end and get Geneva their second win against the Jamestown Jammers, in which case, if he's able to do that, it would be back-to-back 1-run wins by Geneva. 4-3 last night, currently ahead 1-0 here. Estrada, Rule, and Standohar standing between Terwilliger and a win for Geneva. First pitch to Chris Estrada was a strike call. No balls, 1 strike. Estrada, the leadoff batter here in the top of the 9th inning. Outside corner strike 2 called. Chris is 0 for 3 tonight, grounding out to the shortstop Justin Etz, to the third baseman Tassin, and a fly ball out to center fielder Chamberlain. That pitch is in the dirt to count 1-2 now to Chris Estrada. Slater O'Brien and Nate Grant with a real pitcher's duel here tonight. This is grounded down toward third. Tassin gets a nice hop. He's up with it and throws to Will Simonite, out number 1. Jammers down to their final 2 outs now. Connor Rule steps up. Nobody aboard and 1 out. Connor struck out swinging back in the 2nd. Grounded out to Simonite unassisted in the 4th. And struck out swinging, dropped third strike back in the 7th. First pitch to him, a strike called. No balls and 1 strike. Nobody aboard, 1 out. The pitch. Way outside, and the count's even at 1 now on Connor Rule. Geneva 1, Jammers nothing. Top of the 9th. Just 2 hits on the night for the Jammers. Make it 3. Connor Rule slashes one into left field for a base hit. And it's booted out there by the left fielder, Yoi Ishiyama. And moving up to second base is Connor Rule. Single for Rule, and an error charged to the left fielder Ishiyama allows him to move up to second base. And that brings up Jimmy Standahar, and in the run for Connor Rule is Alex O'Donnell. O'Donnell at second base now. The tying run in scoring position with one out and Jimmy Standahar at the plate. One of just, prior to that hit by Connor Rule, just 2 jammers to reach. Now 3 have made it to the bases for the jammers. Jimmy hit a double back in the 5th inning, and the first pitch is inside and high to him, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Jimmy getting the start tonight at second base. The 1-0 pitch. Lofts it toward right field. Right fielder Matt Smith over makes the catch. Tagging at second, having a look, is Alex O'Donnell, but he stays put there at second base. Shortstop Justin Etz cuts off the throw in by Smith. Standahar is out, number 2. And now the Jammers down to their final out with a situation in front of them, and that, of course, is the tying run in scoring position at second base. Ben Brookover makes his first trip to the plate tonight. I couldn't think of a better guy to send up to pinch hit. Conti had gone in to run for Casey Vincent when Casey reached in his previous at-bat. And now Anthony Barone making the move to Ben Brookover. With Alex O'Donnell down at second, Terwilliger steps off the rubber, and OD goes back to second base. Yet to see a pitch is Ben Brookover. Pitch to him, high outside, ball 1. One ball and no strikes to the pinch hitter, Ben Brookover. 2 out. OD at second base. Cut and a miss by Ben on the off-speed pitch by Terwilliger. Count evens at 1. Two out, runner at second, OD. Ben Brookover at the plate. A 1-ball, 1-strike count on him. And the 1-1 pitch, way outside. Jake Evans has it squirt away, but not very far, just about 3 feet over toward the Red Wings dugout. Count now 2-1 on Ben. Ryan Markey, the shortstop, is on deck. OD gets his lead off second base. Jammers trying to tie it down to their last out, and a cut and a miss as Ben was overpowered there by Ben Terwilliger, and the count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Some deuces wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, and a runner at second in Alex O'Donnell. Ben Brookover, the last hope for the Jammers here on this Wednesday night rather. 2-2 pitch. In the dirt, squirts away from Jake Evans. No chance for OD to advance. It's ball 3. Somewhere I hear Yogi and his famous or infamous, depending on how you care to look at it, ain't over till it's over deal. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. O'Donnell at second. Geneva leads this 1-0. We're in the top of the 9th. Jammers' last chance here with Ben Brookover. Payoff pitch. Ben fouls it back. Stays alive at the plate. The count's still full, 3-2. Ben Brookover, 6'1", 210 from San Antonio, Texas, attending UTSA. Full count on him. Connor Rule singled to left and advanced a second on an error to the left fielder, a new member of the Red Wings roster, Yohei Ishiyama. Ben fouls off another one, and the count's still full with 3-2. Eating pitches up. Ben Brookover standing there now with a 7-pitch at bat. This will be pitch number 8. And he pops it up. Right fielder Matt Smith comes in a few steps and makes the catch to retire Ben Brookover and the Jamestown Jammers. And your final score tonight, Geneva 1 and the Jammers nothing. That's going to do it for tonight's broadcast here from McDonough Park in Geneva, New York. We will catch you again tomorrow night when the Jammers will take on the Newark Pilots. That game to be played at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park. And we will hopefully catch you there for tomorrow night's action, that is, here on the Jamestown Jammers Baseball Network. For everyone involved from Geneva, New York, this is Dave Shannon saying thanks for being with us for this little handy-dandy 2-hour and 29-minute broadcast. Holy cow. How often does that happen? Not often. See you again tomorrow night on the Jammers Baseball Network. Good night, everybody.